should be. All right. Welcome. Good evening, all of my June bugs out there. Welcome to the next episode of FAE News Network. I am your host, Fairy Princess Lolly. Tonight, I am here with Counting Morbid. And I'm not sure how you actually count Morbid. Like is it morbid, 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 or is it morbid, 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 morbid?
I think the plural is morbi.
Oh, morbi, morbucks.
Morbi, midi, morbid, morbidity, morbidesses.
Hello, Holly. Welcome. Yes. Also, Baron Gunther Hammerhands, famous Dana the Boggin, but we are just having all kinds of technical difficulties, and of course, DJ Trishy, the Music Box Fairy. And just so you guys watching at home are up to speed and in the know, I have been, it seems like, suffering some manner of technical difficulty with visuals where I look blurry, then things aren't blurry, then they are blurry and pixelated. So I'm slowly trying to troubleshoot through this. I'm slowly trying to troubleshoot through this problem. And if you guys experience that on your end out there, please say something in the comments so that I can hopefully wheedle out what is causing that, because right now it could be a large number of things, and you got to go through it one by one. And also Dana is down there and she's on mute because every time she talks, she sounds like the Wizard of Oz, which is
we all sound like the Wizard of Oz.
It's not when she talks; it's when you talk. We hear it through her, and you sound like the Wizard of Oz.
Everybody does. Count Morbid did when we tested it, and we would not want Count Morbid to think he was anything so great as the Wizard of Oz. Unless you want to talk about the end of the story.
I was going to say, dibs on Wicked. I'm definitely trying to chase people and steal their shoes. That's my role here.
So you're an Ewok?
A reverse shoe salesman.
Isn't Wicked the name of the Ewok?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Played by Warwick
with a T.
Wicket.
Wicked.
Oh, Wicked. Wicked.
Oh, God.
I liked you better as a gothy Ewok.
I'm starting to wonder
at
if
least
it's not so much.
go with Willow.
I'm starting to wonder if it's not so much that people are echoing, but she's just got messed up hearing.
I mean,
Also,
if we're
I'm blurry in person, so it's not the camera. I'm actually blurry in person.
Hello, Ty. Hello, Kristen. I see you guys out there. And hello, Cobble, aka Dennis and Persephone. It's so awesome to see all of you guys here tonight. Oh man. Well, so I want to say first, before we get too far into anything we're doing, for those of you following at home, we recently premiered the movie that Count Morbid, myself, and a bunch of other fairy folk were all in. It was a 48-hour. It was for a short film for the 48-hour film festival, Sacramento, and 48 hours means that is the time that it was written and produced and written, filmed, and then produced in, was 48 hours to do this whole little thing. And it was done by Penelope, Pendragon, the Wish Fairy. Right. And so we premiered that Sunday. That was our pajama party. Saturday was our pajama party premiering. And now it is voting time. So I have put the information that I have about our film. It's all in the low bar of Facebook here and YouTube. And if you guys want to go vote, you can click the link that's there. You can vote on anything you want. But I've put the only information I have is about our film. So if you want to vote for us, then that information is there for you to enter or not enter at your leisure. And if you want to vote for a different film, feel free to do that. You can also go to their website and watch all of the different films that were put in there. So, but I don't know what our voting period is. I don't know if we have a week, 2 weeks. I don't know. So after the show, check out that low bar and go do the thing. Also, I think if you go to wishwagon.org, which is Penelope's website, she now has the not our watch party version of it, but the actual film up there on her website where you can go watch. It's a couple minutes long. It's not hugely long. So are you basing your hand count, Morbid, or are you like giving us a how or a live long and prosper?
nothing that would be offensive. No. I was going to say, did you say for those fumbling at home?
No, I said those watching at home.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if you said for those following at home, but I swear it sounded like for those fumbling at home, which
I might have said following. I did not say fumbling though. At least I think I didn't say fumbling, but you know what? Sometimes
on the following?
My eyes read their own thing. My mouth says completely not the things or the words not in the order.
Words
right?
are hard to word.
What is the word?
I know how that feels. Words are really hard.
Sometimes they are. And you know how it is, there's that Harvard test about reading words where people can read sentences if the first letter of a word and the last letter of a word are appropriately in place. Yes, exactly. Words, darling. Then you can switch around the letters in the middle, but people will recognize the word. So, and we're not talking about a 3-letter word. We're talking about, like if we took the word morbid, for example, as long as we leave the M and the D in their appropriate places, you can switch around all the letters in the middle, but people will still largely be able to read that is the word morbid, especially if it's in the context of a sentence.
Then we have Mibod.
Bennington Humperdinck, and we all know what actor we're talking
Oh
about.
yeah, no, I mean I can totally talk. I can totally talk about butternut
Jerry
truffle
Dorsey.
fries, and everybody knows exactly who I'm talking about.
Jerry Dorsey.
So Silky just tasted, by the way, the sour cherry juice in my cup. It was kind of interesting. She's like, "Oh, that's not water." Anyway, what I was trying to say though with that was that's how my sentences I think are sometimes, right? I get the first word of the sentence and the last word of the sentence, and then all the words in between mix themselves up, and I just kind of hope that everybody understands what I mean.
You're one of
Too
you're
long
one of the,
didn't
one of the-
read. Words are
you're
hard.
one of those newspaper puzzles, like a jumble. Your word salad.
A jumble. A word salad. I do spoonerisms a lot too. Those happen in my brain.
You mean like Friar Tuck?
Wait, I am not saying that. And yes, I do mean like that. I was thinking more like I'd like to buy your fruits or I'd like to fry your boots. But yeah, the Friar Tuck one works, but I'm not saying it out loud. And neither is anybody else here because we do not want to run afoul of the YouTube gods.
Lynchess Prawley. No. By the way,
no, I am not okay with lynching. I mean,
no, Lynchess, not yeah. You're right.
Lynchess Prawley.
Prank call.
Yeah.
Wrong number. By the way, real quick, a birthday. I meant to try to tell you earlier, but a birthday of Duchess Poppy's consort.
Duchess Poppy isn't a duchess anymore. You know that.
No. What happened? Is this news to Poppy? Is this going to be news to Poppy?
I don't think it's going to be news to her because this whole conversation came up, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so when we were saying, well, Poppy, if you want to do the thing and reclaim your old lands, you must do the thing. And she kind of was like, I'm good where I'm at for now. And so I was like, okay. So, I mean,
are you sure we're not?
That's just Poppy in the old kingdom, but in the new kingdom, she's kind of.
I thought you were thinking of the other one.
Unless you keep what titles don't like keep
anyway,
like emeritus,
Poppy's consort has a birthday today.
If they want to keep their titles, then they have them emeritus, but she hasn't actually stepped forth to do. She has not re-stepped into that role, and that's what that discussion was about.
Hold me hostage.
Well, I will send your knight to negotiate for your release.
Yes. I'm
Eventually.
sure that my knight and you will secure my release post haste. Yes.
I mean, I actually probably would, because think of all of the. I mean, it's not Poppy that I'm actually so worried about, because you two, you have that. But I think that if she stuck you with the pirate nanner for too long, you might eventually cry for your own release. And I would first collect your tears, because I'm sure that they will go for a high price in the goblin market. And then I will negotiate to secure your release.
We refer to that as the Ransom of Red Nanner by O. Henry. Yeah.
Hey,
the Dread Pirate. Yes.
If you invoke the right to rescue, I will come get you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'll take my chances with the
I'm pretty sure that club he just held up is about the same size as the Dread Pirate Nanner's whole head.
Yes.
Hey, that is my mug, you are, Gunther. That is my mug. You did that on purpose.
I think Gunther's turned into a bit of klepto. Also, the music box fairy has a dragon.
She does? Oh,
yep.
Whoa.
I got that dragon. She stole me that dragon. That dragon owes me $50. It lost a bet.
It did? What's the bet that it lost?
I think the dragon's up to something.
What?
Hello, welcome all you new people. I see a John. I see a Beth. I see an Ivy. Did I say hello to you already, Ivy? I don't know. I see your guys' names when you comment, and so if I didn't say hello already, hello. So the other thing that what?
I said, what's up, people?
Man, I'm so mad. Okay, you know what? I have a mug too. Here's my mug.
No, I got one. I got one.
Which one of you has the squished fairy?
Which one of us has the
fairy at the bottom?
That would be Gunther. He has my squished fairy mug. I feel like my camera is not right. Okay. I'm just waiting for him to be holding it and do that lean back thing, and then be wearing whatever he's drinking. See, now that is the mug that he. How did you get that? You won that. You got that at Trade Blanket.
No, that was not me that won it at Trade Blanket. There was another person that won it for me at Trade Blanket.
It was Lumina. It was Lumina, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. And then they filled the whole thing up. It's got to be 8 liters worth of. It's a lot.
It's like 5 gallons in here. Okay.
And none of us could pick it up. Oh, you were the only one. We could if we used both hands to grab it.
I picked it up one-handed. Yeah.
He was the only one who could pick it up one-handed when it was full. It was quite.
It needs a really long straw, because the little straws didn't fit.
No, it's not that it didn't fit. It fit just fine if you wanted your straw to float at the top of the liquid, because that's what it did.
No, but if you do you remember those giant pixie sticks that you used to be able to buy with the
Oh yes, yes,
sugar in them? See, giant pixie stick, clip the ends, straw for the Steins, a Stein straw,
or a quarter of a hula
I
hoop.
thought you could use licorice. Licorice?
All right. So we'll put this in perspective.
If you could find a rope that was hollow and that big, you're just over there like, oh man. No, so what I was gonna say was
the monkey is delicious.
Wow. Rough. I mean, you're still over there in Oz for sure. So
I could I put a 1 liter in this, in this mug. I could put a 2 liter into this mug, and no one would see the top.
Yeah, it's a big one. Man, I am so distracted. My brain is so distracted. I have like a bunch of things in my head that keep wanting to come out. So, and one of them is I thought you had mood lighting, Count Morbid. Last time you had like this whole clap on, clap off mood lighting. Look at him. And not to be outdone, Count Morbid rises from his chair, strolling across his room, possibly even swaggering. Then he returns,
No, that was a
his
sachet.
shirt
That was
partially
no.
open,
Again,
as he's like,
I
observe
have-
the mood lighting.
You sachet.
I have to use my finger.
He's
I have to
actually.
use my finger because if I set it up for automatic, the other people living in the manor would also be able to control the lights through their magic mirrors.
Don't
Which
you
is-
trust
which is
the
why
people
I-
that you live with?
No!
I sure as heck
Not
don't.
even a little.
But then again, I am the one that could control the TV through my
Yeah,
magic mirror.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does the magic box fairy trust the people she lives with?
Oh, heck no. They're teenagers and a 4-year-old.
They are questionable, yeah, especially the 4-year-old. He is very suspect.
And by the
He
way,
loves
can I
Goat
just say,
Simulator. Of course he is.
because it didn't make it out of my mouth earlier. The reason Ion isn't with us tonight is because he is extra involved in Muggle work, and
I
so
think you can definitely.
well, I just didn't want to leave him out because this is, I think, the first time ever he has not been on the show with us. But he's doing, yes, he's doing very important things, and so
Just put a box of Lucky Charm on the camera.
oh my gosh, did you even see his awesome onesie, his pajama onesie for the party, for the watch party?
He was wearing Good Luck Bear.
Yeah, he has a Good Luck Bear onesie.
He has the Good Luck Bear onesie.
It was
too.
amazing. Yeah, it was awesome.
I have a Good Luck Bear onesie. I have a Good Luck Bear short suit. I have a Good Luck Bear dress. We could totally. Oh my gosh!
Yes,
I will have to get in touch with I. We have to do this one day.
So what you're
Surprising no
saying is
one I called dibs on Grumpy Bear. Surprising no one I called dibs on Grumpy Bear.
you can't be Grumpy Bear. I'm Grumpy Bear.
There's not a onesie big enough for you. They
That's
don't make
also
it in your size.
You know what? That's actually true. We tried. We tried to find something in Gunther's size. It's not a thing.
No,
Hold
what you need to do is
on.
You need to get 4 onesies. You need to get 4 onesies and put them on each of Gunther's limbs, so it's like Care Bear Voltron.
Actually, I was thinking, either Famous Dana, either Famous Dana or Ivy have the power of sewing. And now I think we could find one that's big enough around. It's that we can't find one that's big enough in height, right? So maybe if we find one, they can adjust. They can cut off whatever little feeties that there are, and then they can sew something onto the bottom or onto the hands. I don't know. I see Dana's wheels working over there. She's like, actually, I might be able to do something. Look at her.
The best part would be that I would be the first one to see him in it. And be able to point and giggle first.
Be a challenge
Don't make it
accepted,
weird. Don't make it weird.
I have an elf suit.
We will end up with at one point. You will end up with sexy Grumpy Bear.
You have to put the little patch on the back so that you can fold it down in case things need to happen.
A button.
Party escape
He has
hatch.
to have a bump pad.
He has to
Party
have a button.
escape hatch, yeah.
Oh yeah, them gears are going.
You know who else could do it?
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Holly's also seems like a joy effort at that point. It's just
I mean, I could probably do it. But there are certain lines I don't
I'm
cross.
just
We're moving.
What lines have you crossed? Do you have a problem with dressing a troll in a onesie? Is that what it is?
And dismantling Care Bears and it's just I don't need that
Tell me
aggravation.
how many Care Bears you need. I'll take care of it for you. I will skin them myself.
I have a whole box of
Gunther.
Care Bears, therefore they don't get skinned.
They're bears. What's wrong with skinning a bear?
Well,
Red
if
skin
it's
bones.
alive, a lot.
What? When did
What
people
in the
become
heck?
friends with the bears?
What?
What?
Huh? What?
I am just over here trying to get the names to go on the wheel because we have our artist waiting in the wings, and of course, the interwebs are not working with me. So, but you know what? It doesn't look like tonight we've been weird and choppy all that much. So that's good.
Don't say those things out loud.
Don't jinx it.
I have to. That way people can help us troubleshoot.
You know that. I don't like
I'm just trying not to sound like the great and powerful Oz.
No,
You
it's
don't
not
sound like
you. It's not the powerful Oz. You make others sound like it.
Admit it, Dana, you like to sound like the great and powerful Oz, because it's pretty awesome.
I am the greatest buggin of them all.
And that's kind of true, yeah.
I even wrote a song in your tribute, and now I don't get to do it for I don't know how long, but it exists, and Gunther has heard me sing it.
That is true, and the song's pretty awesome. If it wasn't sang by her.
Well, you know, I am scheduled to hopefully make it up there this month.
Bring me the broom of the something.
No, it doesn't go like that. You stop it. No.
You know, I have a whole Wizard of Oz collection actually sitting out in my
I
dragon
found
right now.
something interesting last night. And I showed Lolly it. It's actually available on the Tubes of You. It's called The Dark Side of Oz.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, that's cool.
We used to talk about that when we were kids. We don't talk about that now. You know what I'm saying? But it's still new.
So we must do the drawing, and the drawing is where did we put the
I
things
touched
for
my
the
broom,
drawing?
so I have to wash my hands real quick.
Hang on. Lolly, I know where they're at. Keep talking.
Okay.
And we all got quiet. He said, keep talking.
I'm like, I don't even know what's happening right now. I'm so confused. Yes, well, I'm about to do the drawing for this week's drawing, and I was going to show you guys what it's for, because it is for items that were going to be for Fairyblossom. That's another thing that I didn't quite yet get out of my mouth, but well, wait, there they are. Oh, yes, bring them here.
Get it out of your mouth.
Yes, no, so these are meant to be enchanted items for either our hedge gatherings or any of the FAE Productions events like Fairyblossom Festival or Samhain. This is unhooked somehow.
What?
You broke it.
What? I'll fix it.
You'll have to fix it. Oh, okay. Well, Gunther made a necklace. This is the necklace, but I guess he has to fix it because somehow. Anyway, this is the necklace. So necklace is part of it. Here, you take it because you have to fix it.
Oh, I still have it.
This is the Golden Acorn spell kit, and it includes a pot, some dirt, a golden acorn, and the little spell description thing in there. And then, why are there two of these? Not this one. Ooh, hello. This one, the Canary Quill and Ink. So that is actually real canary feathers. It's hard to see they have orange on them. Oh, you fixed it. That was fast. Okay, he fixed it. Here's the necklace. Yes. So these are the three things in tonight's drawing. And now I will cut over to Yon Wheel. Just somebody remind me to talk about Fairyblossom at some point tonight.
I'll tell you to talk about Fairyblossom at some point.
Here we go. Cutting over to Yon Wheel. And we shall do the drawing. If you happen to be one of our patronage on Patreon that comes to our events or otherwise,
if you have a FAE persona in the hedge.
Yes, in the hedge, that is, or at any of our events, these will be made into enchanted items for your use at those gatherings. So here's the wheel. I'm spinning. It is going. Go, wheel, go. And then we will bring in tonight's guest artist.
I can't, I keep going through what keeps going through my head. Wheel of morality. Turn, turn, turn.
Everybody's head every single time.
Teach us the lesson that we should learn. Yeah.
Going. Go.
Ah! No.
Stormy the Fairy. She has won the prize. Congratulations, Stormy. And Stormy is one of our hedge people, so she gets to have some awesome magical items for the next gathering. You guys better all look out.
I have to finish what I was making for her before we send that out.
Well, that's on you to finish fast.
I'll have it done tonight.
All right.
See? And Lily's gone. Yeah, we in charge now.
No rules, no rules.
I don't think that exactly is how that's supposed to work.
I don't think so either. I think she hit too many buttons at once, and she's going to come back and be like, I hit too many buttons. I can't help it.
Well, buttons, where are the buttons?
I'm going to check on her. You guys
smash.
okay.
I don't even know what happened just now. Are you guys ready?
Anyway,
Are you
that's
ready?
why I think Fairy Princess
Oh,
Lily
it's
is
like,
definitely
oh,
the best.
man.
Oh, she's back.
Yeah, it's so funny, Count Morbid.
Oh,
Okay.
thank God we can't hear her.
What?
Okay.
Are you really can't hear me? Can you hear me?
No, we can't hear you at all.
Is she talking?
I can hear you just fine. Don't freak out.
Yes, well, Count Morbid, I think, mixes up not being able to hear me with not listening to me.
I agree.
See?
Either that
He's
or I
doing
think
okay.
it's just selective.
So, welcome. Hello, Jerry. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Fantastic.
So, welcome to FAE News tonight. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here amongst this august personage.
Oh, look at you. You're so kind to us.
Welcome.
But it's June.
Good to see you.
What?
He said that this August personage, and no, it's June.
Oh.
Hold on. When did it become June? Who gave the authority on that?
The person at the end of May. I don't know. Jerry, will you please tell us who you are other than Jerry, what your business, where you're from, what is it that you do? Say hello to our audience. I have a sneeze and it's about to just get all of you guys. So where's my
Do it up. So I am the Selective Scrivener. That's the name of my business. I'm up here in the far northeast of the country, and I make delightful little pens and bottle stoppers and other things in my workshop in my basement.
So your pens are normal size. They're not little, unless you actually also make little
Hooray
pens.
for delightful.
Okay, I make little ones. Here's a little one.
What? Okay, wait. I'm gonna embiggen you really fast so that we can. Those are cute.
Yeah, this
That
is
adorable.
This is actually like a sketch pencil that uses extra thick lead.
Nice.
Oh
Wow.
You know what? I just might have to get one of those too, because I was talking to you earlier about getting stuff, and I would like one of those. Well, I had one and it died, so so now I guess I need a new one. All right. So tell us a little bit. If you have some stuff? I didn't realize you did stoppers. Do you have some of those with you tonight? Let's see some of what you have.
Well, so speaking of bottle stoppers, I don't have any on my site yet because I'm still working on kind of prototyping. And I have something a little special I can show you, which is a preview of a couple of items that I may be putting on my store very soon that I just finished. And I'm trying to decide if this is something I want to add to my store, if there'd be interest in it. So I made a couple, and I thought, hey, maybe I'll show y'all and see what you think.
Hey, I think that would be awesome. What have we for the surprise tonight?
Grab hold
Get
here.
some audience feedback here.
Yeah, so you're familiar with bottle stoppers for
yes,
wine
I'm going
bottles.
to embiggen you again. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So say you open up a bottle of wine and you don't want to actually drink the entire thing in one night. So I know it's weird. It's a weird concept. But in that case, you'll need something to put into the bottle so that it doesn't let all the magic gas out. Or alternatively, if you're having a party and you have, say, a dozen or so bottles open at once, and you're going to work on them all night, having a bottle stopper can be handy. So bottle stoppers themselves, I get the kits, which is mostly the metal part, but then I cast and paint the item that I put on top.
What?
Wow.
Oh, those are so cool.
Fantastic.
So this one is a deep shiny red with a gold numbering.
It looks like you could there, friend.
Oh my God.
And this one is a white and copper.
Still crit. Nice. Nice.
Well,
Do you
it's
have
always
ones
gonna
with
be
a crit fail on the top in case they're bad wine?
Yeah.
Well,
you beat me to it.
why
This
would
would
you
be a
want to
crit
even
fail.
stopper that? These are my current prototypes of
Those are so
the bottle
awesome.
stoppers.
These
may
crit
end up on
fail.
my-
Okay,
my
so
store
fun
later.
fact, I work at a gaming bar.
It's a nice bar, isn't it?
And they sell mead.
I have some other
Yeah, take it.
bottle stoppers that I
That's fantastic.
let me just grab one of those. So the other type that I make that I haven't put on my store yet are magic top hat stoppers.
Oh. Ooh.
And
Oh,
this is a prototype.
Morbid.
And this is a clear prototype, but I make them in all various colors and designs. Here's a couple of other blanks that I've made for pens, but I can make bottle stoppers and stuff in this style. This is green and gold.
Very pretty.
Ooh.
It is very beautiful. Yeah.
A crit fail stopper should be for your second bottle of wine, or possibly just the hard liquor, like the
Yeah.
I'm going to have a regret stopper.
a regret stopper.
Not the box. That should be the one.
Here's a lovely purple and gold.
Real slow. Because the sparkles, yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
sparkles.
They really show up well on that one.
Wow.
And then for those people who like a pen that they can't possibly lose, we have the Blaze Orange.
That is for game hunters
Bonus
out
points
there.
if it's day glow.
It doesn't glow, but man, it is. You see it. You can definitely
Actually,
see
it would be super cool to have a glow in the dark pen, wouldn't it?
So I can make glow in the dark pens, but they have to be charged up. It's difficult to get your hands on radioactive materials these days.
Imagine that.
in your pen.
So now I know
we have
from a
several
previous
here.
radioactive
a lot of
materials.
them
Is that what you're talking?
You know what? Never mind.
I have some uranium glass.
You know, it's really
I
funny.
have
It's
some
known for
unobtainium.
radio without even active. So does that make me a radioactive material? Just want to
Let's
check.
see, so you have a question from the audience, actually,
Sure.
Jerry, and it is: if they order a set, can they get different rolls so that they can rate their wine? That's a great question.
I love you, Persephone, for that.
I hadn't even thought of that. That's pretty fantastic. Probably.
I mean, you're the one who puts it together.
The molds that I use to cast these, the one is the side that you pour the resin into. So the one looks a little different than the other numbers. So that's why it's always the 20 on the top, because the one's on the other side. But I can probably, if somebody really is like, I need a 16 on top, I can probably do that.
I feel relatively certain if anyone could figure it out, you would be the person. I'm curious. Okay, so with your pens, because I remember from previous conversation when you were on a few weeks ago for Handmade Home Shopping, I remember you saying that you pour all of your own resin for your pens before you, and then you in those that you were showing us, just the cylinders. Yes, and then you turn that on a lathe. I think that's on a lathe. Yes, okay. So now with the dice, you also pour your own dice.
Correct. So
How
with
do you do?
so working on the lathe, you can work in a variety of materials. For instance, this is some ebony that I can make a pen out of. A nice hard block
Wood.
of ebony.
Now that's wood.
And that's wood. This is you can't. It's not the feeler web, so you can't feel how heavy this is. But this feels like a brick. And then you have another wood like this Bolivian rosewood here, which you can make cool pens out of this on a lathe. But if you pour your resin properly, you can make a pen blank out of these lovely resins. For the dice, it's a very similar process where I pour the resin, except for the die, into a silicone mold that looks like this. And once I pour it in, mix the colors I want, put the mix-ins I want to get various results, be it a purple, although
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool looking.
It's a nice deep purple color, sort of a violet. Once I get the color I want, I pour it into molds. I built custom molds for the pen blanks that I have. And then I can put it into my pressure pot. And the pressure on the resin makes all the bubbles in the resin shrink until they're microscopic and then they disappear. So the resin that I pour for my pens and for these dice has no bubbles or occlusions or anything. They're very clear, and you can really see the insides. Now I've been showing you the pen blanks. And
what is an occlusion?
So an occlusion is a flaw. So either a pit or a hole or so on and so forth. So if you
and you also have another question from the audience as well.
Sure.
Let's see. 2 questions. I'm sorry. One, Kristen is asking if you are able to make a D20 pen, and Poppy is asking if you could do a full set of dice, D4, D6, D8, 10, 12, and 20.
So for the first one, no. I don't have the proper mold to create a D20 pen. That's an interesting idea, though. Most of the pens I make have a metal base to them, and I purchased the kits from a popular seller, and then I turn the barrels myself. For instance, I showed you this blank here, which is this lovely purple and gold color. I turn it then into this super shiny purple and gold pen. So these two came from the same batch. So I turn this into this. Now, I don't do the metal parts of this, but I purchase the metal parts. I turn the barrel to the desired specifications and then polish it and shine it up, and you can see the luster of that.
So do you have that cool steampunk pen still?
I do. I have several of those really fun little steampunk pens. So I really enjoy this particular design here, and it's got
so intricate.
Such a great look to it. And the barrel that I put on to this particular one,
oh, I love that.
Copper swirl with some curves. And if you love that, you'll love the action on this. You take the little pump here, and that's what makes the pen go out.
Isn't that the best?
So, and as for the other question, I can do sets of dice. Unfortunately, it's a gigantic pain. It takes a lot of time and effort. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I have to sand each face of each die until it's perfectly flat to my personal specifications, and I just can't do that in a way that is profitable for my time. So
yeah, cost effective.
It's just not cost effective for me to do it. When people make dice, it's either a labor of love or they do it mass production. But for these bottle stoppers, I don't have to worry about rolling them, and so I don't have to make them guaranteed fair because they're not going to roll. So I don't have to get them as perfect as I get a rolling die.
Oh, that makes sense. You have another question from the audience from Christina, and she is asking if your pens are designed for refillable ink, and where would people buy that ink if so? And then she says that she has found that to be the most frustrating thing for her own pens, is that refills are hard to find.
So these pens, all the pens I sell, use what's called a Parker style refill. This particular pen, you can see the green and gold pattern there. You merely unscrew it, and it takes a standard Parker-sized pen refill that you can get at Staples if you don't mind a cheap refill. Or alternatively, you can buy on pen websites or on Amazon. You can get Parker refills that are made by this company called Schmidt, which makes very good refills, and I include a high quality Schmidt 900 refill in every pen I sell.
So there's at least one refill that comes with it, and then also the good thing about that is that then people know which type of refill to get as well.
Right, the pen comes with ink in it, so.
Yep. Well, that's that's like getting toys at Christmas with no batteries.
No batteries,
you know?
Exactly. And I want the person who gets the pen to not just have batteries, but have really good batteries, so that when they write with a pen, they're like, oh, this ink is good, this refill is good, and when it runs out, they can just open it right up and be like, oh, this is what I want.
So here we have another interesting question from the audience. Is if the die that you were making was clear, as in I think the D20, if the dice you were making was clear, could something be put into it like gem chips?
Oh, absolutely. So I put various fillers into the dice I make and the pens. So if you look at this one, you'll see it's red with these gold sparkles inside. I use a very fine mica powder that gives really nice swirls and patterns inside. But if somebody wants larger gem chips of a particular gem, if they're willing to pay the extra for the custom work, I can definitely have a clear die filled with the gem chips, and then
That's
the
cool.
numbers painted the color that you want.
I totally just had a vision of a D20 inside a clear D20. Like D20 Inception.
Yeah,
Deception. It's deception.
You crit. Unless you're Twitch, then that's okay.
And that would actually be awesome.
You know what's
Like
funny?
what's the word that I'm looking for? Tesseract? A tesseract.
Count Morbid right now is looking through his room because I think he has one.
A
See, I'm
D20
pretty-
inside of a D20?
I mean, I'm pretty good, but I may not be that good.
And
Hey,
that is
there's always room for improvement.
always
There is.
greatness.
There is. And
But you know what? We're fairies, so we believe in you.
And for those people who enjoy fountain pens, I don't have any fountain pens on my site at the moment. However, several of the styles of pen that I have on my site come in a fountain pen example. For instance, this one right here is a Celtic knot design with a
beautiful
accent gem. The wood.
Hey, did you put that gem on the end of it?
No, it came with it.
It came with it. Okay.
The wood itself is called bloodwood.
I love bloodwood.
This lovely red wood. And this particular one uses a magnetic cap, which is very fun. However, I also have, this is a twist pen version. This is a Victorian styling on the pen. It's very heavy. This particular one is Cocopolo.
Oh, I
And you
love
see that
Cocobolo.
beautiful detail in the Cocobolo. But this one is a unscrew pen, and this one is a roller pen, but this particular style also comes in fountain pen style.
So with pens that are this beautiful and unique, it would be a very bad idea to use them as murder weapons, correct?
Well, you see, if you were going to do that, I would suggest getting a pen and letter opener set, and then just using the letter opener.
Oh, yes. Well, it's more that I was worried because it would be very distinctive, and if anybody would find it, they would instantly know.
I will
what
let
it
you
belonged to.
use my letter opener, Count Morbid.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh man!
I mean, I just open letters with a chainsaw, so that you know.
I mean, that is.
I don't have that
The
problem.
mail is here.
Those are really big letters.
Heavy.
Well, you know, I use really big words, so.
Either
legit.
that, or
That's
sort of like those
legit.
videos where they cook things and everything is super tiny. When the letters come in, he's like,
Hey, Fairy Princess Lolly, this guy is a lot funnier than our usual guest.
all right, so we're coming up here on 8:30, and that brings us around to the what is in it for this week's giveaway.
Well, I have an answer for that. On my site, you can find a particular pen, and I'll be giving it away. This is a pen that is.
I'm gonna begin you here.
Please
Sorry.
embiggen me.
I'm beginning.
This pen is made out of sassafras, which is a very fun wood.
That's crazy.
Don't be shaking that sassafras.
That's very
That's
Oh
right.
my gosh, you know who will want that so bad? Sir Nettle will want that. Sir Nettle loves sassafras.
I'm just saying, your sassafras is very sassy.
And
Yes,
this
sassy.
is a pen that you turn the top here, and the pen pops out the bottom. So it's a very smooth pen.
Can't over just turn it on the right.
Oh man, Sir Nettle, you're not here to see this. I feel so bad.
Yeah,
Well,
I
that
figure
is
Fairy Princess Lolly is going
awesome.
to enter under an assumed name like Prawley.
I mean,
Golly, good name. I like that.
Lynn says Prawley.
Yeah. Lincest Frawley.
Yes, nobody will suspect. Oh man, no. Well, Jerry, that is an awesome. And now I can't wait. I can't wait to be like, Sir Nettle, guess what? Ha ha ha. I'm so goofy, but I'm very excited now to show that to them. So thank you so much for being here tonight and showing us all of your awesome work. And I still stand by what I said earlier before the show. So we shall have to follow up on that. But if you guys are looking, of course, the link to his store has been running. Then it is the Selective Scrivener. And the way that this works is if you are on our Patreon, a member of our Patreon, you get an automatic entry into next week's drawing for the sassafras pin. And if you would like to get an extra entry, then when we are done with the show, comment, you leave the word, the word for this week's entry is right on, like right on, except for WRITE.
Right on, right on.
That's right. Leave it in the comments section below of our YouTube video when we are done with tonight's show. And that is how you can get a second entry if you are on our Patreon, or a single entry just if you are out there watching in the audience. So it is open to everybody domestically. So unless, I don't know, do you do international shipping? I don't know if that's a thing. So normally we just do domestic shipping.
I only do domestic shipping currently.
Yeah.
But I ship everything priority mail. So it'll get there fast.
Okay. Well, that is for tonight's show. The entry word is right on with WRITE. And just remember, not in the live chat comments, but in the comments after the show. That's where you would leave that word. And thank you so much for joining us, Jerry. All of your information is in the low bar of this video as well on Facebook and YouTube. So
thanks so much for having me.
I'm trying to talk over this kitty here, but yes, no, you're very welcome, and thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All I can tell you is that as a fellow that just learned how to read and write, that I was highly intrigued by Jerry's submission, even when he was in homemade hand shopping. That was very nice. However, Fairy Princess Solid,
what?
We need to talk about Fairyblossom.
Oh, you remembered. Thank you so much for remembering.
I can't hear Lolly at all, so I'm going to try to leave and come back and see if I still can hear her.
Can the rest of you guys? I mean, I assume the rest of you can hear me.
Okay, so Count Morbid needs hearing aids. That's a thing. He's old.
Count Morbid was also kind of quiet.
No,
Count Morbid is always quiet.
He's a Silhouette. He's supposed to be quiet.
See, exactly. Actually, so I think he's not as quiet as I wish he was.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I'm a troll and I talk way more than I should.
Not you, Count Morbid.
I'm saying we're talking about stereotypes, right?
But
okay,
yeah, I mean, you're loud and gregarious.
Okay, so but wait, Gunther. What is the difference between like a Bose unit and a Sony or a Panasonic have to do with this?
Wait, what?
Stereotypes.
So to
we are not experts in.
No. I got this. To understand, okay, Count Morbid is more of your whispery, like less than school candy type.
Oh, Count Morbid, you're back.
Yes. Oh no.
What?
I can hear Lolly now.
Sometimes it just happens.
Oh man, sakes. So yes, Fairyblossom. Okay. Here in the Kingdom of Storms, there has been it's not just here. There has been all kinds of turmoil and tumultuousness that is happening across all of the kingdoms, and I'm sure everybody is experiencing some form of it wherever they are. It is impacting us here in that. So Fairyblossom was supposed to be the last weekend of this month because that is when we were supposed to be in phase 3 of reopening. And in phase 3, we would be permitted to have a small gathering of 50 people maximum. So we were going to have a scaled back festival. But right now, we have had our transition into phase 2 delayed, and that implies that our transition into phase 3 will be delayed, and therefore we will not be in phase 3 by the time Fairyblossom would roll around. So we have 2 options for the festival, and I think that I will discuss this again next Tuesday. I'd like to have a volunteer meeting, but the 2 options that we have available are to push it back a couple more weeks into July and have it then, to not have it at all and instead do a virtual event, or I guess this is 3 options, or to not have it at all, have a virtual event and do a harvest event in September. Those are the options. So I'm
all the above.
No, you can't have all. You mean you want to do Fairyblossom, a virtual event, and have a harvest event?
Yeah. Look. Athena wants it too. See, look at it.
So you want to push it into July, still have a virtual event, and do a harvest event in September?
Yeah.
I think a harvest event would be worth it anyway, but
and we already do the virtual events, so that's okay.
Yeah, we do the virtual events fairly often.
Well, yes, but if we did a virtual event as a complete replacement, it would be more like a weekend thing in the Hedge. It would not be just a 1 hour, or one evening thing like we've done in the past. And I would definitely go to lengths to make it more.
I like hanging out with people virtually, but I'll be honest with you, just to saying this, I don't think anybody. Well, okay, I said it. I don't think that I would want to hang out on the internet all weekend long.
I don't think you would be required to literally be there every single minute. I mean, people get up, they go do things. I'm saying you would set up a schedule and certain things would happen at their designated times, virtually speaking. So,
by the way, so I don't know too much about technology and the magic mirrors and all that, but I would also recommend doing some kind of video conference in addition to what is normally done, because people being able to see each other and at least show off how pretty they are would
if we do a virtual replacement.
If we do that, it would have to be through a streaming situation like Zoom that can actually hold up to 50 people.
Well, yeah,
I
no,
don't
I'm
know
saying,
how many Discord holds.
25.
Okay, cool.
Discord holds 25.
I'm saying if you do virtual, then people being able to see each other is probably better than just texting.
I will talk to you about the Discord thing later, okay, Gunther?
Fantastic. Thank you.
I mean, I'm all for pushing it back a couple of weeks into July, and then doing a regular hedge gathering, along around the normal time. And I am not actually opposed, depending on how it goes in July, if we just push Fairyblossom back a couple weeks. I like the idea of having a harvest event one way or the other. So
like I said, all of the above.
I mean, I guess that's kind of the camp I'm in.
Weeks. If Fairyblossom is pushed out, or even a couple of weeks or a month, whatever it is pushed out to, that kind of works for my personal life too, as you well know. So
There's no such thing as personal lives, just alternate realities.
Okay, for my alternate reality, it works.
Fantastic, I understand.
Hi, so Persephone, I just want to address what you asked really quick here. What about a ticketed / timed event? We have already sold. Fairyblossom is completely sold out at this time. We could have a maximum of 50 people, and those tickets got bought up in less than 24 hours when we put them up on sale. So we're already maxed out. We can't, only 3 of those are live vendors. And then we are having a virtual fairy market vendor booth, this was the plan and still is the plan. Just, I don't know if it's going to be the plan for Fairyblossom, for Harvest, or for both. But we will have a virtual booth that is going to be set up to have multiple tablets in it that are open specifically to a vendor's website that folks can shop with right there on site, because this particular location that we've moved it to in order to have a smaller event does have internet access. So we are going to take advantage of that. Nevertheless, we're already sold out for the weekend, and so that is where that's at. I mean, I would. September rolls around, we can have more people.
All right, that's what I was gonna say. Is our fall harvest, if you will, may have more members depending on if the government says people can do the thing. Is that right?
Yes.
By the way, I was gonna suggest perhaps at Fairyblossom also doing a live river of things for people to pop into.
A live what?
Stream. A live stream.
River?
Yes. Bigger than a stream. Yes.
Live stream. Yes.
A live river.
Whatever.
That's when Foley has the
Listen, I thought the dogs were going to drive for Amazon. Now leave me alone.
And Gunther,
I mean Uber.
Supposed to be the troll.
Uber Woof or whatever it was. Uber Park. I don't know.
Wolf cars.
No, have not. You know what? You probably won't ever live that down. But however, it is a thing.
Well, so one of the things that we had talked about because doing a harvest festival is one of the things that's been on our agenda since last year. Last year we had our first Samhain event in addition to our midsummer event. And then this year we were hoping to add a harvest event. But of course, doing events costs human monies. And so in order to, before we could grow, we needed to also grow our fan base / group, whatever our people that come to the events, right? So, and we were doing that. Minions. I'm sure they do not really consider themselves minions, but I like to think of them as our patronage because we're growing through Patreon. So
subjects is not a bad one.
Subjects is actually accurate.
You know, I'm waiting. Count Morbid, you can be the first to let them know that they are subject to you and see how that goes over. I'm going to wait and watch.
I think the result there would be subjective.
Oh, God.
Killing us. So.
You're killing me, Smalls.
So yes, so we have actually grown our Patreon to some degree, but I think that this year, because we've had to scale back Fairyblossom so much in order to fit within all of the hullabaloo that's going on out there, that we're safe to have 2 small events since we're not having one large event. So I think that even in September, if it goes well here for Fairyblossom, that I would like to try to use this same location, being the Longhouse, to do a harvest event. And last year when we talked about it, it was I kind of wanted to base it off of Puck Fair, and Puck Fair is the oldest actual festival in Ireland since the 1300s, I think it is.
Hey, do you remember earlier when you said you had a problem with spoonerisms?
Why don't we just base it on?
Yes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
What was the name of the fair again? Sorry, what was the name?
Puck Fair.
Okay, just checking. Are you more likely to do spoonerisms if you keep saying something over and over out of curiosity? What was the name of the fair?
Why, Count Morbid, you have caused Fairy Princess Lolly to change a lovely shade of red. Isn't that awesome?
I mean, it is the sort of thing that I would completely flop around if I was just.
It's the Cup Fair.
Wait, on what now?
You be silent. Go back to being a creepy, dour, brooding sluaw. Yes, that's right.
So what this is you want time out.
I see the end of your tail. I mean, that's normally how I do mine too. I'm like,
what is it about? Okay, so
haven't you ever noticed that?
Outside of Puck Fair or whatever Count Morbid was implying, what other options is there?
Well, no. So, one of the things though that we had talked about was we had talked about types of events and the setup for that. Like one of the things we had talked about was making it a complete barter fair. So if there were to be vendors, the only way that there could be vendors is if they were 100% brought only bartering things. So
okay,
and you don't like that idea?
No, I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying okay. What else is there to it?
Well, I don't know, because we hadn't discussed it, because we didn't really know earlier this year that we were going to be doing it. So it's kind of like open up
Software,
in the air.
you know,
I think that we had talked maybe about doing training on things.
No,
I
we're
mean,
not
this
shooting
year-
on mushrooms currently.
This year is currently Jumanji.
Hold on,
and
I
don't
am on a
see
tuffet.
DJ Trishy training someone else to be a DJ at the moment. So
Huh? Training to be?
No,
I
training
don't see
someone
you
else
training
to be.
someone else to be.
Why would I be training someone else to be?
Because
She's like, no, I have a monopoly on the market right now.
Stop trying to
and
replace
what?
her.
That's yeah.
Like, huh?
Thanks, Gunther.
Job security.
Right? No.
No one else knows.
But
how
what
to
if
make
we
noise.
did workshops in, where we're talking about various
A
folklores
workshop about
or
like where I'm like training. Okay, now I'm following now. Okay.
I can't
like,
see him as saying that wanting to tolerate people to teach them to cook. And I definitely don't want to go through and try to teach people how to bash brains in. So let's carry
Hey,
on.
kitchen magic is a thing. It is a real thing.
You
Alright.
could teach people how to cook, and I could teach people how to bash things.
All right, that's
You-
fair.
you-
We'll do that.
You forget, Gunther, that I don't just do the magical playing of the musics out of my box.
We don't talk about the other things. that
Then
you
I
allow.
I also have 7 goblins, and so
I-
there are
I-
crafty things and things like that I have done with them over the years, and
I understand that. I dare not push you
skills that I
into
can.
poison. Because
She's a
that's not
master.
beautiful music ever. So, living.
She's a master of the dark arts and crafts.
Yes.
You don't need to teach people how to make more crotch goblins. Really. There's no need to teach that at all.
All right, I'm done with the show. Have a good night, folks.
And on that note, do we want to go ahead and see what weird news there is out there?
Is there weird news? Yeah.
I have yet to torture Count Morbid with the timer tonight. So,
Count Morbid, you have the
By the way,
timer.
when they said crotch goblins, I almost yelled, "Morbid, stop it!"
no good.
So,
No good is going to come of
what?
that.
Was there any news this week? Because-
What
because
was there
look-
any?
Nothing happened this week.
The news every single week is like that little dog holding the coffee cup sitting at the table, right? While the cafe is completely on fire behind him. He's like, this is okay.
This is fine. This
Oh
is
my!
fine.
I can't believe you got the freaking quote of the meme wrong.
Right? This is fine.
This is why we're here.
Listen, you guys bridge my gap between fairy and
3 words that you see on the internet every day.
I
3
don't.
words.
I do not though.
This is fine.
Is this? It'd be like saying Spock is always known for saying "live long and don't die and be rich."
I mean, that makes sense for Spock to say. He's a dragon.
A copper dragon, a copper-blooded dragon.
Oh man, a copper-blooded dragon. Is that actually part of the story?
Vulcans have green blood because their blood is based in copper and not iron.
I thought we were talking about Smaug.
Spock.
No.
Spock.
I refrain from being the equation.
Is this one of those spoon thingies where you saw the first letter and you assumed what the rest of it was or something?
You know.
Cattail.
Oh, Lord. All right.
I do not know who picked this article, but I am not reading that title out loud on air. No.
We
will
picked
not.
that one.
one of these is just right out. And you know which one I'm talking about. I know you do. Whoever sent it in and to the prepped this, I know you guys are the ones.
Shockingly enough, I did not send in any articles this week.
I'm trying to figure out which article.
Is that shocking?
Well, I'm just saying it wasn't my fault, whatever you read, because I don't know.
Oh, look at this. This one makes me angry. This employees of Renaissance fairs and pagan festivals are turning to the internet. This is what I want. Gunther.
What?
If this article is not about us right now, I am not reading it.
I'm kind of upset it wasn't about us because we've been on it for months. Right?
That's what I'm trying to say.
And see, so just so everybody out there knows, Fairy Princess Lolly, 4 months, has been going and talking to vendors and talking to artists and getting them online to show to all of you. And so now there is a article out there about vendors turning to the interwebs, and it's like, well, you can talk to us first. That's kind of stuff.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready. I got a strap.
Okay. We have a 75-year-old man spends 13 years turning a 150-foot hedge into a dragon. Looks pretty awesome.
I love that one.
It's at least worth looking at, if for no other reason than to see the picture, because the picture is pretty cool. Let's see. We have the world's oldest intact shipwreck found, 2,400-year-old ship of Odysseus. Really,
Okay,
that sounds kind of cool. I missed this one the first time.
Just so you understand, the Odysseus one is a bit of a flashback article. Okay, that article came out in 2018, but it is freaking awesome.
Okay, we're gonna do one of these two. Norway couple find Viking grave under the floor of their house, or mysterious giant spotted in Mexico. If you want to hear about Viking grave under people's floorboards, press number 1. And if you want to hear about the mysterious giant spotted in Mexico, press number 2. The timer goes now. Ooh, oops. And I have to.
Wait, I want to know where Gunther was when this was happening in Mexico.
Right?
In the Kingdom of Storms, making sure everything didn't blow up.
You know who I haven't seen around for a while? Flynn. Who is it that's under those floorboards again?
Well, Flynn is a bit shorter than me, and I believe he's on vacation in Maui.
I have no idea about
Or
any of
either
that.
or he's working for the 404.
What is the 404?
DJ
Tiara
Trick.
fairies?
Error
What?
not found.
Yeah, it's a union not found.
Error not found. Or page not found.
Yeah, page. Well, error 404 is page not found.
This
but,
is fine. This is fine.
This is fine. This is all fine. No,
You know
local
what?
union 404 fairies not found.
So how come it's giving tiaras to dwarves and powries and not me?
Because you already have them.
But I don't have the one that they would give to me if they were going to come give me one.
Listen,
I'm missing that one.
I don't have any tiaras.
I've seen some of the people they give tiaras to. They desperately need one.
Some of them just like them.
And
I understand this.
Then she doesn't need a tiara.
The dwarven backpack does not need awesome tiaras.
Oh,
Okay,
trust me,
everybody
it
needs at least one. Everybody needs at least one. That's true. It's.
I have a
rounds all
chef
around.
hat. I don't have a tiara.
Okay, we have 1, 2. We have 2 votes for number 2, which is the giant in Mexico, and the Viking grave under the floorboards is number 1.
I'm gonna
So
go
two
get a
votes
tiara.
for 2. Uh-oh. Timer's up. Okay. Giant in Mexico. Let's see. I'm finding it.
You don't get giants in Mexico.
Sharing it. What do you mean you don't get giants in Mexico? Mexico is part of North America. North America is the land of enormous flora and fauna. Isn't that what
And
You
trolls.
know, Roosevelt
Trolls.
was,
Thing.
you know, I mean, all the mega things.
Kurzima.
Giant armadillos and mammoths, woolly mammoths, and big saber-toothed tigers. And the giant sloth, also from North America. So, mysterious giant spotted in Mexico. So I guess that doesn't even look like a giant. It looks like one of those things from Star Wars. Hey,
A walker?
hey. I don't know what they're called. The ones that they flew around their legs and they tripped them and they fell down in the snow on the ice planet Hoth.
The Imperial Walkers.
Imperial walkers. Yep. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.
AT-ATs are the smaller ones with just 2 legs.
Oh, that's right. Now,
Residents of a community in Mexico are on edge following the sighting of a mysterious giant that some suspect could have been either a Bigfoot or an alien. It doesn't look. Maybe I'm just not seeing it right. Am I not? This is the thing we're looking at right here, right?
Well, first off, I think I heard a theory that Bigfoot is an alien. So.
Well, there's also the theories that fairies are aliens too. I mean, I guess it's possible. So, excuse me, the eerie incident reportedly took place last week on a communal piece of farmland near the city of Ciudad Valles. A witness to the weirdness, I like that, identified only as Mrs. Antonia, said that the sighting took place around 5:30 in the afternoon as she and her husband were playing with their child. The group were taken aback when they heard a sound resembling an explosion that seemed to have come from a hill on the property. Thinking that an avalanche was about to occur, they looked over at the spot from where the sound emanated and were stunned to see what was described as a tall, thin man that Antonia likened to a giant. Although her husband initially made fun of her for being scared, she said when he also quickly became frightened, that doesn't, I feel like that's a typo in that sentence. When he also became quickly frightened when he spotted the mysterious visitor. The witnesses were able to snap a few photographs of the creature, one of which can be seen above. However, it is difficult to decipher what exactly is perched atop the hill. Nonetheless, word of the incident has spread throughout the region and raised concerns among residents. Indigenous elders in the region are said to be quiet about the case, but are rumored to have suggested the eerie interloper could have been an alien or is somehow related to the coronavirus. That's a giant bat. Others have put forward the possibility that it could have been a Bigfoot. You know, I wonder who put forward that possibility. Do they actually have the mythos of Bigfoot? And what is that I hear? Who's playing a game? Who is that?
Says the
that's
woman,
not a game.
says the woman over there with the blurred camera all the time.
I don't have a blurred camera right now.
At the moment. But most of the time.
I haven't had one all evening as far as I know. Thank you very much. So it might be that Twitch is the problem because Twitch is the thing that I did not include tonight. Let's see. Back to the article. But the famed cryptid is actually not a part of local legend in the area. Literally answered in the next sentence. Where the infamous skinwalker appears to be more of a frequent suspect for similar bizarre encounters, which would be attributed to the Sasquatch here in America. With all that said, what's your take on the puzzling photograph? Is it an alien, a Bigfoot, or merely a misidentification of some kind?
Are you
we're supposed to talk amongst ourselves and then go to their Facebook page and tell them what we think or something, which I'm not entirely sure I plan to venture onto Ye Old Book of Faces for this. But, I mean, what does that look like to you? It sort of looks like one of those weird walkers with a little Nessie. Like this looks like the walker and this looks like a little Nessie coming out of the hillside. Okay, I'm stopping with the sound effects now. I mean, do you guys have an opinion? No.
Yeah, we think you should stop with the sound effects.
Yes. Yes.
I'm just being mean. I'm sorry. It was a well-placed funny.
Man, I don't know if that was mean or just true. I'm gonna go with just true.
Ow.
Man, you guys are a tough audience over here, guys. Fine. I'm just gonna stop sharing it then because nobody has anything to say. I don't know. What do I hear? What is the noise that I'm listening to in the background?
Just sounds like static to me.
It sounds like typing or hitting a button of some sort, or I don't know.
I literally only hear it when you're talking.
Really?
Yeah, he's not lying.
Okay, I heard it on Gunther just now.
What?
No. I had a little bit of an echo. That was it.
Okay.
No, now someone's onto gaslighting.
What is the gaslighting?
It does honestly sound like an occasional tapping of the table with your fingertips.
When I was young, we called that static.
I just heard breathing that time.
That must have been a really long time ago because when I was young, we called that logging on.
That was the precursor to hey, that was the precursor to Skrillex.
I predicted the internet.
That was before the base got dropped, is what she's saying.
I thought that was a chemistry joke.
You're a chemistry joke.
What?
I heard that one coming.
Man, your face is a chemistry joke.
It is still Dorian's fault that I say that at random times. That is entirely still Dorian's fault that I will occasionally say you're a potato.
I don't know why you're trying to.
Oh man.
She is a verbal pox.
That's true.
If she was here to hear you say that, Count Morbid,
she would say your face is a pox.
Your mom's face is a pox.
Yes.
Okay.
I was being really mean there.
We want world's oldest shipwreck or Dead Viking.
Talking?
Oh. She did stop talking. She didn't just cut out. She just stopped talking. It scared me too.
To give you a glimmer of hope before I crushed it again.
Yeah, we all were scared.
Sport.
I mean, scared is relative. I wasn't really scared as much as I was like, whatever.
Oldest shipwreck or Dead Viking under floorboards? Oldest shipwreck is number 1. Dead Viking under floorboards is number 2. The timer starts now. Which one do you guys want to hear? Put your votes into the comments. Oldest shipwreck number 1. Dead Viking under floorboards number 2. And go. Everybody's all quiet suddenly.
Poop.
What?
I think there's a problem with Morbid.
Oh, he's wearing his cool feather cowl.
Have we tried plugging him in, unplugging him? And putting him back in
Have you tried turning him off and on again?
Have you?
I'm not sure that plug would be pleasant.
I only try to turn Count Morbid off.
You haven't figured that one out yet, have you?
So all of you out there that are watching on Facebook, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel.
Okay, we have 0 votes. So if we have 0 votes, I'm going to make a command decision.
Dead Viking.
Not true.
Well, you got to put it into the comments. It's a number 1.
I'm not in the thing.
Oh, but you want to hear about Dead Viking.
Dead Viking.
All right, what do the rest of you guys want to hear about? Dead Viking or oldest ship?
Dead Viking.
Dead Viking it is.
Oh, yeah, we have.
Everybody else wants to hear about Dead Viking too.
Viking,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Share screen. Roll. Here we go. I was like gonna say world's oldest, but then I was like, nope, wrong one. So Norway couple find Viking grave under floor of their house. What were they even doing? I mean, to begin with. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
On the SCA page.
Some people actually work on their house, Lolly.
That's different.
You know, Count Morbid. A couple in northern Norway were pulling up the floor of their house to install insulation when they found a glass bead and then a Viking axe. Now, archaeologists suspect they live above an ancient Viking grave. It wasn't until we realized what it could be, Marianne Christensen from Solvag near Bodo. Wow, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering these names. Told Norway's state broadcaster in RK of the find. We first thought it was the wheel of a toy car. Archaeologist Martinus Haglid from Norland, from the Norland County government, visited the couple last Monday and judged that, hey, a typo, haha, the find was likely a grave from the Iron Age or the Viking Age. It was found under stones that probably represent a cairn. We found an axe dated from between 950 AD and 1050 AD, and a bead of dark blue glass, also of the late Viking period, he told the local. He said he had never heard of a find being made underneath a house. I've never heard of anything like that and been in business for nearly 30 years, he said. They did a magnificent job. They reported it to us, typo, as soon as they got the suspicion that it was actually something. They will get some, that is, people that find old get a reward from this act then sent to Troms.
What happened?
We lost her.
Did she? I was just gonna ask. Was it her microphone or was it her whole mirror?
Me?
Slowly.
I'm right here. I can hear you guys talking about me.
Like a minute
No, we
ago,
couldn't
you
hear
shut
you
up.
at all.
It was like you stopped reading in the middle of the article, and
You have made us all very pensive, and we would like you to start over.
Well, I don't think there's anything left to the article. It just ended after her great grandfather built the house in 1914, and nobody ever talked about a Viking grave. That was literally the end of the article, and there was no other pictures or anything other than that big hole in their floorboards. That article was a dud.
So you're
We didn't even
saying
get to see the axe.
that's kind of weak.
Sauce.
It's very dull.
Sauce.
Lots of sauce.
Why is there so much sauce involved?
Sauce?
I don't even know. Why are we talking about sauce?
I think that article was very saucy.
Pup fair?
Uh-oh. Well, apparently you guys are not the only ones who experienced the choppy. So did Ivy, and I'm not sure actually how to say that. Is it Baugen? Is that how that's said? Am I saying it right? I don't know if I am. I'm sorry. I've never heard it said. I just read it. Oh, let's see.
I mean, sometimes you read it.
Okay. Oldest shipwreck or 150-foot hedge dragon? Oldest shipwreck is number 1, and the hedge dragon is number 2. Oh, and the timer.
Oh, that timer is going to be the death of Morbid.
Stupid sequential time.
Curse you, Smithers!
Linear events.
Hey, I just want to say too that also, if people have thoughts or ideas for a harvest festival of things to do at the harvest festival,
Murder spree.
Can we hurl pumpkins at Gunther?
I mean, you could, but they'd get hurled right back if that was the case.
I mean, we don't have to use like real big pumpkins. We could just use those little painted face pumpkins, or even beanbag pumpkins.
I'm just saying that if you hurl pumpkins at Gunther, they're going to come directly to DG Trishy.
No, it's not a computer. It isn't a bad idea. We have the mini trebuchet, the 4-foot trebuchet. We could do a mini pumpkin hurl because it's not like the 20-foot trebuchet that we have. So it's not going to hurl something 300 yards, but it will still hurl it. So I bet we could do a mini pumpkin hurl.
Just don't let the goblins operate it.
Why does it have to be at Gunther?
Because it's funny.
I mean, but why not?
Right.
Because it'd be funnier if it was that fairy Princess Loli.
No.
No, it wouldn't.
I think it would be.
No.
Listen, I'm the one who gets to do the thumb.
But what if they're like balloons full of flour or something? Then it's funny. Because it's happened before, flour bombs.
Yeah, flour
bombs.
That joke bombed.
Or, we could fill them with applesauce.
Crisscross applesauce?
Sauce.
Harvest Festival, just to answer really quick, and we also have a bunch of votes too. So a bunch of votes for number 2.
We could fill the balloons with canned pumpkin.
Or we could fill them with orange holy powder.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not a vampire.
Be orange.
So to answer Persephone's question, the place that we want to do the Harvest Festival is the temporary place that we are moving Fairyblossom to. So same place, the Longhouse, and that is in Redmond. And normally Fairyblossom is in PL at Red Hawk Avalon. But this year we had to move it from that site because that just wasn't going to be workable with all of the quarantine stuff going on. So we were going to use Fairyblossom as a test run for then having a harvest festival. And then next year in 2021, we were going to move Fairyblossom back to Red Hawk Avalon and then continue to have the harvest festival at the Longhouse. So the maximum amount of people I think can be there is somewhere between 200 and 300, I think, normally without any weirdness going on. So that
when
one
there's not an apocalypse.
Yeah, when there's not an apocalypse. Yes. Yeah. So I think that's right. Don't quote me on that. So, anywho, okay. Number 2 and which one did I say number 2 was? I said number 2 was the dragon, or number 2 was the shipwreck. Gosh, I can't even remember.
The dragon hedge.
The dragon hedge is number 2. Okay.
This
Thank
many.
you. I got it. A 1, a 2, a 3. See, sometimes we're a good team.
Yeah.
Number 2 was
Yeah, the clock is right. The broken clock is right twice a day too.
So there it is, the awesome picture. No matter what your hobby, it's important that you make time for it. This is most important to help you relax and switch off from work and other commitments. However,
that is so beautiful.
It is awesome. It also gives you an opportunity for personal growth. The more you practice something, the better you can get at it. Whether it's soccer or singing or turning a hedge into a dragon. Practice makes perfect. Wait, a hedge into a what?
He's countless morbid now?
Hang on. Yeah, Countess Morbid. What's
Santa?
going on there?
No, countless morbid.
Look at his name. He's changed it every time he comes in tonight. So John Brooker is a 75-year-old pensioner from the UK, and he spent the last 13 years of his life sculpting his massive hedge.
Wait, isn't that the billionaire from the first Jurassic Park movie?
I don't know.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Behold my massive hedge.
Look at my dragon. Oh,
Look,
that's what we're calling it these days.
Trimming your hedge is an important skill that you should do regularly.
This is
Behold my
Manscaping?
the 150-foot-long shrubbery stretches alongside his house and another property which he rents out.
Me.
Oh. Keep it going. I was standing at my kitchen sink one day and I thought the hedge was boring, so I decided to do something with it, he said.
And while he was in the kitchen, okay.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. Yeah.
On average, he spends about a day a week sculpting and gardening. With his trusty shears and pruning equipment, the results are incredible. But why a dragon? I think the dragon came from my days
Why
in the
not a
army.
dragon?
I don't know, but I think that he should have made it a luck dragon. That way he could somehow climb to the top of his hedge and be like,
A Puck Fair luck dragon?
I am not going to try to repeat that. You just leave me alone. I did.
wonder if it bears fruit.
I did 2 tours in Malaysia, so the dragon must have been in my subconscious. I've added wings to the top. I've added wings, and the top was quite plain. But every year, I add another couple of lines for definition.
I want to know what it looks
Every
like
year
in
he does
October.
some lines. Okay. Good to know.
I want to know what it looks like when Halloween rolls around and like the leaves have fallen off and it's just like bare, horrible bones.
His wife, Peepa, I actually don't know, but that's kind of a good question. Maybe it doesn't because it's
Maybe
a
it's
hedge,
an
so maybe it
evergreen.
stays green year round. His wife,
Maybe it's
Peepa,
evergreen. Oh.
Pippa, I don't know. A retired graphic designer helped with the design elements, but the gardening is all down to John, and he's immensely proud of his work. We must admit, it looks mighty ferocious. John's amazing talents come from 13 long years of practice. After all, if he makes mistakes, he has to wait until the hedge grows back before he can rectify it. Man, that thing is cool looking. Let us know what you think of John's commitment to his dragon hedge in the comments.
So I'll be honest. I mean, because when I heard
It
about this
does
story,
kind of look like a luck dragon.
It does, doesn't it?
well, I also see the Asian, but
Yeah, with the big.
when you were reading the headline, or basically when I heard about this story, I kind of assumed that this was a quarantine story. I kind of assumed that this was, I've been alone in the house for 3 months, so of course I turned the hedge into a dragon. But it sounds like he's been doing this for years.
It does sound like that.
Y'all see
It
what I'm
said
talking about,
17.
right? It seems like a quarantine story of,
Right.
dear God, was I bored? Shrubbery. Like,
Which would be awesome. I wonder
Yeah.
if you actually could do all of that if you knew how to do it, right? If it wasn't the first time. I wonder if you could do all of that in the span of 3 months.
No, you can't. Because you have to have time to train the branches and you have to teach them how to grow.
I thought you just had to trim them in the right way.
Not necessarily, because you trim a spot and it will leave a bare spot. You have to be able to let that grow and get new leaves. And
Topiary does require a bit more work.
I love topiaries. They're the best. Someday I'm going to have an... Your face is a topiary.
Your mom's face is
You're a still Dorian.
What?
Your face is still Dorian. Oh.
I mean, no, it isn't. That was all I could muster for a comeback.
No.
Yeah, exactly. That was my very eloquent and verbose retort. Nuh-uh. So that is our third article. It is also 9:20. Now the question is, do we want to read one more and make Morbid suffer? Or do we want to call the evening to an end?
I think we've come to an end. I think.
But
so.
what?
I think we came to an end. Topiary, once that word got thrown out there, we were done.
Oh yeah? Can you even spell that word?
Not with a T.
Shut up, Morbid. Grr. Okay. All right. Well then, with that said, I guess we shall call this evening to an end. We've left a lot tonight. Oh my gosh. Whew. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I had to catch my breath, man. We laughed a lot tonight. Okay, I laughed a lot tonight. I mean, so thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight here on FAE News. And we will be back. We will be back on Sunday with Friday with Author Reads, and then Sunday with Handmade Home Shopping. And on Saturday, we are having another hedge gathering. The information for all of these things can be found in the low bar. Actually, not for Handmade Home Shopping and Author Reads, but we post those. So, but you can find the information for the hedge gathering in the low bar. And then, of course, we will be back next week with our regular round of shows. I think we'll be having a volunteer meeting about Fairyblossom on Tuesday, since Monday is supposed to be the hypothetical day off. It never happens that way, but please hit like and subscribe. You and my mug. Look, he's showing the bottom of the mug to everybody. The squished fairy on the bottom. Yes, please hit the like and subscribe. And of course, ring the bell if you want to get those notifications about the upcoming shows and whatnot. So thank you all for joining us. There was a lot of you, and I hope you guys are staying safe out there and taking care of yourselves. Remember to eat food and do all the things. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Hi.
Do.